Outlaw Sports is brought to you by Molson Canadian, made from Canada, and Rocky Mountain Barbecue, Alberta barbecue cuisine at its best. Before today's segment, we want to give you a chance to win a real cool prize. All you have to do is follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Join now for your chance to win an autographed Doug Gilmour Flame jersey, the real leader of the '89 Flames Cup-winning team, the club's best-looking jersey. Join us on Twitter and Facebook to win. It's that easy. We've worked together quite a few years. Great working with you again. We've had
This show seems like it's been about a year.
We've been stationed here. We've been taxed.
By the way,
that's how long we've been.
Good job on the Christmas decorations. This takes me back to the 2 and 7 days when there was never any Christmas decorations. I had to go hunting down to the sales office to get a poinsettia plant to put on our set.
The fact you know what a poinsettia plant is scares me.
Poinsettia.
Yeah.
I love a poinsettia. Okay, sorry, Mike.
That's okay. But remember, we used to have on Sports 11, have our Christmas show in July.
That's right.
Yeah, we just do the stage up. Here we go. Let's have some fun, because this is the year-end thing. I just want to have a little fun and throw some stuff at you, and then you can throw the back at me. What's the best interview you've ever had? Best interview?
Not this one.
Okay.
The best interview. Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Well, these should be well thought out. Maybe give me a heads up before so I can think about it, because you're asking me to go back over 32 years of the best interview I have ever done. The best interview I have ever done is with a high school student from Bishop Grandin whose parents had escaped a drug cartel in Colombia, and the kid had a bullet in his thigh, was playing senior football for Grandin. To hear his story about perseverance, to hear his story about escaping a bad situation, that if they stayed, his dad would have been murdered. Guys coming to the house, they had to escape in the middle of the night. They landed in Calgary. He's playing high school football. I thought he was an inspiration to his teammates. I learned something from that. So, you put me on the spot right now. It's not a professional player. It's a high school kid about 4 years ago for the Bishop Grandin Ghosts.
Wow, that's a great story. And here, I pale in comparison when I talk about my favorite interview, and I thought he was going to be the biggest jerk I'd ever met, was Bruce Jenner when he came on our show. And I saw this guy, and I said hi to him, and just kind of looked at me like I was from Mars, and I go, oh Christ, here we go, an arrogant California guy. I have to sit through an interview.
Because he was a decathlon gold medal winner in the Montreal 76
That's right, 76 Olympics. So the guy comes on, bam, just what a great interview. Fun.
And you had no facelifts then either.
No,
back then.
And no Kardashians. It's gone over the top now, but then that interview was just fabulous because he's open about everything, talking about, winning, of course, marrying Elvis's girlfriend. We got into that quite a bit. All the gossip going around Hollywood. He's just a fun guy. He kind of caught it because he was in the media somewhat. So this whole thing about the Kardashians and all that doesn't surprise me because he gets it. But the facelifts have to go. But that was a very good interview. Phil Esposito was one of the most charming guys I've ever met, and fun interviews as well.
I've had a lot of great interviews and a lot of great professionals. But the professionals, I find, there isn't the time to go in depth, and it seems more superficial in the conversation. Where a lot of amateur guys who have been an inspiration to others, you have the time, and they're more inclined to want to talk about it to help others.
But you had some great interviews over the years, Grant, especially in '89 in that locker room with, the guys in champagne down your eyes. That's got to stand up.
Jamie McCowan. Yep. Jamie McCowan, because his mom had just passed away, and he was inspired by that, and that was pretty traumatic.
Yep.
I think listening to Håkan Loob after he won the Stanley Cup. I mean, any of those interviews in '89 in the Montreal Forum dressing room were pretty good too. Håkan Loob announcing that he was leaving the NHL, really upset about that. I thought that was pretty cool.
Tom
too.
Watts, remember that? Because you just look at this guy and he's so straight, and we're sometimes afraid to go talk to him when he coached the Winnipeg Jets because he could be so
It's
abrasive.
not what he said, it's what he was doing.
Yeah.
He was making his hat stand up like
blowing into his thumb.
Yeah, blowing his thumb, and his hat would rise off his head magically. So.
Yeah, one thing that was pretty emotional when the Stampeders won the Grey Cup was talking to Doug Flutie, because they ended a 21-year drought.
and it was because of Flutie. And again, Winnipeg came out with Matt Dunnigan at the quarterback, and I remember they're all coming running around like they were Bombers and running by the Stampeders bench, and they just had this arrogance about them, and they really got soundly defeated. And then seeing guys like Stu Laird and Greg Peterson, as I said, carry that Grey Cup through the park, that was very touching, seeing the local kids succeed. I was going to ask you this, what's the worst interview you've ever done on TV? I'll tell you mine, then I'll give you time to think. Charlie Francis, Ben
You
Johnson's.
talked to him?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you were getting a little supply back
I was
then,
getting
were you?
supplies, yeah.
Ben Johnson's
Trainer.
medical guy.
Yeah. And you know what, Grant? You know why I was so disappointed in myself? Because I let this guy just run all over me. And I didn't do my research on.
Give me the backstory, how you got to
Well, he
talk
came
to Charlie
in and
Francis.
he came in.
He was in Calgary?
Yeah, he's
This after 88?
Yeah, and
Oh,
he's kind
really?
of doing a tour. I think he's doing this.
Why didn't I
book
get
thing.
that interview?
Because I was smarter. But obviously it wasn't, because I took the interview and every question I had, he skirted around and I let him do it. I just didn't handle it very well. I felt unprepared. I felt I let this guy off the hook, and I was quite embarrassed about it.
You know who mine is.
The worst? Yeah, Dave Steve, isn't
Dave
it?
Steve, yeah. He had a. You want me to tell that story?
I love it. It's my favorite story.
I've told it a few times.
Yeah.
Dave Steve, Toronto Blue Jay pitcher, was coming to Calgary, cross-Canada tour, because he had a book called Tomorrow I'll Be Perfect. If that doesn't send red flags, what this
Right.
guy is all about, nothing will. He had the media all saying, okay, I'm going to talk to radio guys and talk to you, I'm going to talk to you and talk to you. I said, well, no, it doesn't work that way. You talk to TV guys first, then it goes right, then it goes, no. So we were arguing even before it all started. I did the interview. He was arrogant. Didn't tell a word about what his book was all about. I got that tape.
In front of me.
I got back to the station. I said, this Dave Steve story is going in the garbage, and I didn't air it. That is probably the most arrogant interview I've ever done, and that was way back in the 80s. Second one was bad, but he did it on purpose to me, was Brad McCrimmon.
Right.
Brad McCrimmon. Hey, maybe that might be the story of the year in 2011
That could be
with,
too,
with
yeah.
that with that locomotive plane crash.
Yeah.
That might be the big.
For Calgary.
Well, yeah, okay. Brad McCrimmon was just named captain of the Calgary Flames. We're doing the Flames in 2-7 up in Edmonton. The game's over. We had to fill it for 3 hours. We needed somebody. I said, get the new captain, Brad McCrimmon. So the runner goes out to get Brad McCrimmon in the dressing room. He comes in as I'm just about to go on the air. He sits down, so there's no time to prepare. He's basically naked. He has his underwear on, black shoes, black socks, nothing else. Well, he sits down beside me, and where are you going to pin the mic on the guy? He does have chest hair, but you can't do that. So the floor director throws him his leather jacket, the floor director's leather jacket. So here's the new captain of the Calgary Flames, sitting with his leather jacket beside me. I'm sure all the Flames owners, those, squeaky nice owners, were just shaking in their boots. And he proceeded not to answer any of my questions.
Yeah.
And he doesn't live. He died, unfortunately.
Yeah. But he was that guy. I mean,
He says, I put you on the spot that day, didn't I, Grant? I didn't
yeah.
answer any of your questions. You were really sweating. Yeah, thanks.
The funny thing about all those stories you told me, Grant, was not only did you throw that in the garbage can, you went back and got it, and you ripped the tape out of it and said, I guarantee this will never get there. And I'm killing myself laughing. I just think it's hilarious. One of the most embarrassing moments that happened to me on TV, Grant.
Are you getting everything off your chest here today,
I am.
Mike, on this Christmas?
And I'm setting it up, and then you can add. When Peter Nedved defected, and I looked right into the cameras, and I was going to ad-lib everything, and for some reason I got this all mixed up. And I said, yeah, the young man from Czechoslovakia has defected. He's at the Max tournament. His name is Pete Nevada. And then another one was the night that I was on with you, and the old fox puck. Remember that one?
Yes, I do.
And you guys said, how was that? And I said, you heard me, the old fox puck. No, that wasn't what you said. And a couple of more that were pretty funny, Grant. Oh, this one, Brenda Findlay on the news.
What are you getting into here?
Oh, I'm just telling, because this is all funny stuff that I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
I've just, I've done my sports, and I'm just sitting there, and she didn't like me anyhow, so this made it even funnier. And she's reading the story and goes about this aircraft, military aircraft in trouble, so they had to hit the ejector buttons, and here's how she read it. And the two pilots safely ejaculated away from the plane. And of course, me being the smart, I goes, how was that? That tape mysteriously went missing.
Come again?